We just returned from 16 days in New Zealand, and these are some things you should just be aware of if you plan on visiting. Number one is there is a big visa fee for US folks. Now, when you go online, it's just going to say $17, and you can be like, oh, that's really cheap. They have $100 conservation tourism fee on top of that $17. Now, you don't have to pay for any national parks, and we only had to pay for parking once, and all public restrooms are free. So for me, that was fine. There's roadkill everywhere. Like I live in the American West, and there was now when I say New Zealand had a ton of roadkill, they had a ton of roadkill. Like you would see within a mile, you would probably see 6 or 7 dead things on the road. Here's one: stay in Te Anau if you want to do the Milford Sound instead of Queenstown. I don't think people know how far Queenstown is from the Sound. It's 5 hours. A boat cruise in the Milford Sound is an hour and a half. So you are driving 10 hours round trip if you were staying in Queenstown in order to do the Milford Sound. Te Anau is much, much closer. It gives you more of a day. And Te Anau is such a cute, cute town right on this lake. It's beautiful. If you live in the US West, Rotorua is totally overhyped on the North Island. Most people we talk to are like, oh, the hot springs, the hot springs, the hot springs. Eh. Sorry, we where we live, we have so many natural hot springs. It was just kind of a letdown for us. Wine is way more popular than beer, like by a very, very wide margin, which I'm not complaining about. I absolutely love New Zealand wine. Um, but that is just something to keep in mind. We noticed a lot of places would have 2 to 3 beers on tap, but then they would have, a huge selection of wine. In my experience, locals in the North Island have very little tolerance for tourist drivers. We drove from Auckland all the way down to Wellington, and they were very mean. And I'm not saying they were mean because we did things wrong, but like we would be driving the speed limit and they would pass us and flip us off and yell cuss words out the window randomly. One time I was waiting for a pedestrian to cross the street so I didn't hit them in Rotorua, and I had a guy laying on his horn for a good 10 seconds. Now, the South Island we had very little issue with. I think they're just more used to tourist drivers, but that's just something to be aware of, especially if you are in a car that is marked as a rental vehicle. People in the north just aren't nice in cars. They're very nice outside of cars. But yeah, then I looked it up and it turns out there is a road rage problem in the North Island. And then for my American friends, we hear the word motel and we often get freaked out. Motels are just as good as hotels in New Zealand. They are interchangeable word wise, in my opinion. We stayed at some great motels that, in my opinion, were definitely more like hotels or Airbnbs.